Sue is the director of training for a large technology company. Her team is talented and hardworking, but they just cannot seem to meet the fast-paced deadlines that her growing business requires. She believes that a better technology solution would help cut costs and reduce the time required to produce training courses. Sue has 5 big expectations for an e-learning course creation tool. First, she wants to know what kind of courses can she create with an e-learning authoring tool. Then, how can she use that tool to help her team create courses faster? She wants to understand how and where the courses will be published and how the scores will be reported. Finally, Sue wants to understand how the authoring tool can help her and her team better engage the learners in their courses. The 2019 release of Adobe Captivate empowers you to create all kinds of fully responsive e-learning content with a smart authoring tool. Embrace the future as you effortlessly design modern immersive learning experiences using 360 virtual reality. Record software simulations from scratch or add interactivity to existing PowerPoint slides and videos to create engaging e-learning that works across all devices. Captivate provides the tools and technology to help Sue and her team create content quickly, engage learners effectively, publish courses that learners can access at any time on any device, and simplify the process of tracking and reporting learner outcomes. Using Adobe Captivate, Sue's team can easily and quickly produce compliance courses, scenarios, screen capture, self-guided learning, micro-learning, virtual reality training, and even interactive video courses. Let's dig a little deeper to understand some of the most important features of Adobe Captivate 2019. A lot of the training materials Sue's team is producing are courses that satisfy legal or procedural requirements for her company and her industry. It's critical that the courses satisfy legal requirements, provide sound quizzing and knowledge check workflows, meet accessibility and training industry standards, like ADA 508 and WCAG standards for accessibility, and SCORM, AICC, and TINCAN XAPI standards for quiz reporting. Captivate meets all those industry standards and allows you to publish content out to standard learning management systems. It has a comprehensive and compliant quiz creation solution that makes creating assessments easy and that gives you extensive tools like random question pools, answer shuffling, instant feedback, partial and negative scoring, and many more, giving you the tools to create and configure quizzes and assessments that meet your regulatory demands. Let's look at a common situation, kickstarting a compliance course and including remediation to ensure that learners understand the concepts before moving to the formal assessment. One great way to both engage learners and offer a simple, fun workflow is to enhance a video that describes or demonstrates a key concept with pop-up information slides, activities, and knowledge check questions. In Adobe Captivate 2019, you can easily build this sort of experience by importing video, either from your local computer or from YouTube, and then adding slides. Those slides can contain knowledge check questions, animations, instructional information, interactions, and images. If you want to follow along with this exercise, you will find the source file in the resources that come with Adobe Captivate 2019. Click on the Resources tab at the top of the splash screen. Then select the course at the top left. 2019 Release Interactive Video. This Resources tab contains dozens of video tutorials and interactive projects to help you learn all about Adobe Captivate. Once you've selected the interactive video demo resource, select the Open button or double-click the course. The sample course will open in Adobe Captivate 2019. If you are new to Adobe Captivate, let's start with a quick top-level tour of the interface. The big buttons on the top are called the toolbar. These toolbar buttons allow you to insert new slides and media, like images, text, videos, sounds, animations, characters, shapes, interactions, and more. On the left, you will find a thumbnail version of each slide in the project. This paradigm might remind you of PowerPoint, with the little thumbnails of slides on the left, big buttons to insert things on the top, and in the middle, you'll find a stage area. This is the display screen that your learner will see when they view your finished project. When you select anything in a Captivate project, the properties of the thing you selected can be seen on the right side of the screen. So, if I double-click on a course title Ergonomics on the stage, Captivate will open the property panel on the right, and I will see all of the things that I can change and control for the title. Many of these things will seem familiar, like tools to change the size, position, color, and style of the text. Some might seem new, like tools to create shadows and reflections for the text. The second slide of this project is an interactive video slide. That means that it has been set up to use a video as the main part of the slide. And then other slides will be used to pop up over the top of the video at important moments. Let's look at a preview of the video with a slide popping up to better understand the idea. The video begins to play, then after a few seconds, a quiz appears over the top of the video. We can still see a blurry version of the video behind our pop-up window, and now we're free to interact with the pop-up slide. This is an ideal solution for things like remediation, because we can ask Captivate to repeat the earlier portion of the video if the learner fails to answer the knowledge check question correctly. Watch what happens when I answer incorrectly. Captivate jumped back in the video to repeat the list of the benefits of exercise. In this way, you can encourage the learner to listen more carefully and work harder to train their recall of the key points. When I answer the question correctly, the video continues onward. You aren't limited to using only knowledge check questions. You can also include activities to provoke reflection and encourage practice related to the topic. Let's go back to Captivate's authoring environment to add an interactive activity to this project. I'll close the browser and go back to Captivate. I will then add a simple blank slide using the Insert Slide option from the toolbar. Notice that my slide appears after the interactive video slides. That's because we first build the slide like a normal Captivate slide. I'm going to change the slide template by choosing a master slide that is already in the project from the master slide drop-down list. In video overlay slides, Adobe Captivate will let me set the transparency of the background. By default, it will make the background mostly transparent, but add a little blurriness to the video behind the slide. Most people expect a nice little window-like pop-up, usually called a light box. In this case, I'm using a master slide that has a background and a simple middle area shaped like a box. The middle blue box area will not be transparent, so it will form the background for our activity. Now we'll skip ahead a bit. If you want to know how I created the drag and drop interaction, there's a detailed description later in this video. With the activity slide finished, I will go to the interactive video slide. One very special feature of interactive video slides is that they can support overlays and bookmarks. To see that, we'll need to open the timeline. I want this slide to pop up after the men walking toward the camera. I select the right moment in the timeline and then click just above it to insert a new overlay slide. Captivate will offer me a range of appropriate slides from the project. I will select the slide that I built with the activity on it. Now in this case, I built the slide to allow unlimited tries, so there is no need to set a bookmark in case of failure. Let's have a look at how it changes the project. Now back in Captivate, let's look at the next overlay. This one uses a knowledge check slide to quickly check the learner's understanding. If they answer the question correctly, they will move ahead in the video. If they answer incorrectly, the knowledge check question is set to send them to a bookmark that appears earlier in the timeline. You can create as many bookmarks as you like and can move the bookmarks and overlay positions to any position that you desire. Finally, let's look at how easy it is to make a basic knowledge check question and use it on an overlay. From the toolbar, select Insert, Knowledge Check Slide. I'll change the master slide template to use the one I created for overlays, and then all I need to do is type the question and answers. I can set up the knowledge check question for remediation by setting the attempts to 1 and the last attempt action to jump to bookmark, pointing to the bookmark for exercise benefits 2. Now when the project plays, you can see that failure to answer the knowledge check question correctly will lead to jumping back to the previous point in the video. One of Sue's top concerns is that her team has the tools to work faster. Adobe Captivate 2019 includes professional tools to make course creation easier and faster. Let's take a look at some of the ways that Captivate can help you produce more content quickly. When you are beginning a new project, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with nothing in front of you but a blank canvas. It's amazing to have complete creative control, but what if you aren't sure where to start? For that reason, Adobe Captivate includes several built-in themes. You can easily review the internal themes from inside the Assets viewer. These themes are pre-built to adjust and adapt to fit every device type. You can be confident that the slides you build with them will look good on phones, tablets, phablets, and desktops. Here's a little closer look at how themes work. In this case, I've applied the coastal theme to the project and added a few notes to each slide type to explain how each type of slide can help you build the project rapidly. Most themes contain a title slide like this one. You can simply click on the title placeholder to change the title to your own, and you can adjust the colors and font to fit your needs. The image we see here is actually a background. Captivate gives me 3 ways to put a background on any slide. I can use the master slide background like we do here. I can overrule that and instead use a project background or a custom background. Custom backgrounds add special controls over color that only apply to this specific slide. I don't really need to change the master slide background, so I'm going to switch to a custom background and then add an image that better matches my needs. I'm adding the image as a fill because I can take advantage of Captivate's powerful fill commands to tile and scale the image so it looks just the way I want. The next slide features a 70-30 vertical split. The top uses a placeholder to allow you to easily insert an image. Let's add a new 70-30 slide to see what it looks like when you add one. I'll go to Insert, then Content Slide. Because Captivate sees the selected slide using this 70-30 split, it inserts the same type automatically for me. I can always use the master slide preview on the right to change to any of the other slide layouts. Click that big white plus symbol to select or import an image for this image area. Themes also generally include a split column list with positions for associated images, a 3-column layout, a 50-50 layout, and a layout for creating section headings. You'll find a 70-30 horizontal layout. This one is particularly nice for call-out response or 2-part caption. There are overlay lightbox layouts and a handy conclusion or wrap-up slide that makes a great template for lists. The coolest part is that you are not limited to these solutions. Captivate includes thousands of additional templates, themes, games, scenarios, project starters, and more, all right at the tip of your fingers. To see some, let's have a closer look at the Asset Library. This built-in content tool will give you easy access to millions of beautiful assets that you can use right inside your Adobe Captivate 2019 projects. The Asset Library is divided into 3 categories: built-in characters, Adobe stock assets, and eLearning assets. To use built-in characters, just select the category from here, then select the character you want. You can even import high-resolution versions. To import assets from Adobe Stock, simply log in using your Adobe ID, and then search as normal. The images, videos, and other files that you license will download to your Assets folder. Adobe Stock is also a great place to find 360 images for your virtual reality projects. To use the eLearning assets, just click the button. Login is automatic with your Adobe Captivate license. You may search and download any of these extraordinary eLearning assets, including themes, templates, characters, games, buttons, interactions, and scenarios. Another wonderful way to add content to your course is by using the Smart Learning interactions in Adobe Captivate 2019. To insert a Smart Learning interaction, use the Insert Interactions button from the toolbar. You can select from a wide range of interactions. You'll find an accordion interaction, multi-tabs, and other text animation and display solutions. You'll also find puzzles, games, and other goodies. To use a learning interaction, simply insert it and then click and type in place to add your own text. Captivate will handle the animation for you. You can also customize the colors and text formatting of each interaction. Another great way to save time and work faster is to make use of the many resources that are available through the Adobe eLearning community. To access community, you can simply click on the button in the toolbar. You can also sign up for push notifications to follow threads and see what's new. You can easily access the community at elearning.adobe.com from any web browser on any device or desktop. The Adobe eLearning community is gamified, and you'll even be able to earn points for participating in discussions. You can share samples of your work, discuss projects, ask questions, and read about tips and techniques from colleagues and Adobe professionals. Adobe Captivate 2019 allows you to publish your courses, performance support, videos, and more in a variety of formats using both Windows and Apple computers. You can publish your projects as HTML5, destined to run on any modern web browser on any device. You can publish for phones, tablets, phablets, laptops, and desktop computers. One of the great advantages of Adobe Captivate is that you can publish live previews of your content from your desktop or laptop to be viewed over phones and other devices on the same network. This makes it possible for you to instantly see your course both on your desktop and on your mobile phone or tablet all at the same time without the need to upload files to a separate computer. To do this live preview, you must ensure that all the devices are using the same wireless network. Let's have a little fun with virtual reality as we explore this live preview feature. Back in Adobe Captivate 2019, I'll create a new virtual reality project. Once Captivate creates a 360 VR slide, it will give me a plus symbol to allow me to insert a 360 image and create the virtual environment. There are several 360 images that are included with Captivate, and you can find them on stock photography sites like stock.adobe.com. You may also create 360 images using a 360 camera. Click the plus icon to insert the new 360 image. We can create interactions on the 360 slide by adding hotspots. Here I'll add a note, for example. I click the icon that I want the learner to see, then select Display Text under the Actions tab in the On-Click event. Finally, I'll add a little text to tell the learner when they click the hotspot. I am able to rotate the view of this room at any time by clicking and dragging the left mouse button. Notice that the hotspot for the note has been added to the timeline. The content in the hotspot has its own independent timer that determines how long the content triggered will remain visible. By default, this is 3 seconds. Here, I extend that duration to 5 seconds to hold the text open a little longer. When we preview this project in virtual reality, we will see the hotspot icon within the 3D world. We can see this either in a 2D browser or, if we wear 3D goggles, in a completely virtual environment. For now, we'll look at it in a 2D browser. Notice that the learner is still able to rotate the camera, but now the hotspot is interactive. When the learner clicks the hotspot, the text appears in the virtual world for 5 seconds. Now, to make a complete course of it, we'll need some additional interactions, and we'll probably want to add a quiz. Back in the Adobe Captivate environment, I'll add 2 more hotspots, and then I'll click in the gray area to the side of the stage. This deselects all of the items in the project. It makes it possible for me to see the slide properties. I want to set this project to use guided instructional mode. After the learner clicks each hotspot, I want them to be guided to the next one. In a browser, this will animate their camera and shift their focus to the next learning interaction. While using the VR goggles, arrows will appear to guide the learner toward the next interaction. One of my hotspots will display an image. The other will be used to trigger a quiz. To add a quiz to the VR experience, I simply select the hotspot that I want to trigger the quiz and then click the Add Quiz button. Captivate will add quiz slides to the project, and I can select them and type directly on the stage area to complete each question. Captivate also adds a 360 placeholder slide and summary slide. You can put any 360 image you like on the placeholder, but usually you just want to duplicate the initial image. Finally, I'll add a little exit hotspot. Then I'll select the Go to Next Slide action. This will cause the learner to move to the next slide for the review of the quiz results. Now let's have a look at the complete interaction. As you can see, the experience is incredibly fast and simple. It offers an unusual, immersive, interactive experience for learners, and has a significant appeal for things like simulating environments that might be difficult to visit, but important for trainees to visualize before working in them. Now let's try publishing this project. First, we'll preview the project using Live Preview. When you preview, you'll find that Adobe Captivate provides you a QR code to scan with your devices. Use a QR code reader on your phone to grab the QR code, and it will turn it into a URL. Click the URL to launch the preview on your mobile device. You can also click the link on the page on your computer to see the project on the computer in the web browser. On your mobile device, you will see the project load, but you will also notice a new button on the menu bar, and an instruction to view in 3D appears on the screen. Tap the VR button on the menu bar, and then slide your phone into a VR viewer, like Cardboard or Samsung Gear VR. Welcome to 3D. Use your head to rotate your view of the world. 3D viewers support an additional concept called gaze. Simply put, this means that you stare at things to click them. Turn your head toward one of our interactive buttons, and then stare at the button. A little green circle will begin to fill. When the ring is full, the hotspot will be activated. You can repeat this for each hotspot in the project. When you finish, you can simply remove the phone. Captivate is also able to publish your content out in several formats. You can publish to executable software for Windows and Mac computers. You can publish to Adobe PDF files, to video, and publish as SCORM, AICC, or XAPI content ready for a learning management system. You can also publish directly to Adobe Captivate Prime, the Adobe LMS, and to Adobe Connect, our virtual conferencing solution. You can even preview an LMS-compatible course in SCORM Cloud using our built-in tool for validation and tracking. This preview tool lets you see if there are any issues and log the reporting, so you can share it with your LMS provider if anything isn't working when you try to upload to your system. One of Sue's most urgent requests is to be able to publish courses into a learning management system and track the results. Adobe Captivate 2019 can publish content that is compatible with any modern LMS that uses SCORM, AICC, or XAPI standards. Let's look at how Sue's team can accomplish this. A quiz or assessment can be added to any project in Captivate, or can be provided as a standalone project. Here's a simple example of how a quiz can be created in Adobe Captivate. To create a quiz in a Captivate course, simply select the Insert, quiz slide option from the toolbar. You can add as many questions as you like from the dialog that appears. Common types include multiple choice, multiple answer, true, false, hotspot, fill in the blank, short answer, sequence questions, and matching. You can also create drag and drop questions with Captivate and can assign quiz points to any button in case you want to build your own questions and responses. Let's begin by making a group of 3 multiple choice questions, 2 true-false questions, and a fill-in-the-blank question. Captivate will automatically create the question slides for you. Now, if you have many questions already written up, there are ways to import questions in bulk too. You can also create a pool of questions and draw a random question from the pool of available ones by using the Insert Pool Question option. Notice that a new Properties tab appears on the sidebar for quiz questions. When I select any given question slide, I'll see quiz properties for that individual question. For example, in this multiple choice question, I can change the properties of the question to make this a multiple answer question. I can also easily adjust how many answers are available. Simply type the questions and responses in the areas provided. You can also include drag and drop interactions in your assessments, like the ones we used earlier. It is very easy to create a drag and drop interaction in Adobe Captivate 2019. Using the Window menu, select Drag and Drop to open the Drag and Drop Property Inspector. Now select the item or items on the screen that you want to make draggable. From the Property Inspector, select Mark As, and then select Drag Source from the drop-down menu. Next, select the item or items on the screen where you want to drop the draggable objects. Then select Mark As in the Property Inspector and choose the Drop Target option from the drop-down menu. Finally, select each draggable item and wire it to the correct answer by dragging the wire from the drag item to the drop target that represents the correct answer. You can simply check the option to Include in Quiz Reporting to track success or failure for the drag and drop activity. Once your quiz is complete, you can publish it to a learning management system. Let's see how easy this is when publishing to Adobe Captivate Prime Learning Management System. Select Publish, Publish to Adobe Captivate Prime. Complete the dialog with information about the course that you are adding and the scoring information for the course. Now your learners can access the quiz through the learning management system, and reports are generated automatically. Sue can use Adobe Captivate Prime or any LMS to both host and view the training, and to track the learner outcomes. That includes scores and a detailed breakdown of how each learner scored on every question. One of Sue's biggest concerns is finding ways to engage learners. She knows that things like animation, interactions, scenarios, drag and drop activities, and virtual reality can all add excitement to a course. But those things are complicated and take time. How can she justify spending extra time on such things when there is so much work to be done? Adobe Captivate 2019 provides sensational tools to make each of these quick and easy. Let's have a closer look at how Sue's team can create animation and scenarios in Adobe Captivate. To begin this scenario, I started with an asset from the Asset Library. The e-learning assets in the library are royalty-free and free to use in your Adobe Captivate projects. There's a special category filled with sample scenarios, and you can make use of them to easily and quickly create beautiful scenarios. As we preview this scenario, you can see that there is a summary of a situation. These are often office situations, workplace scenarios, customer interactions, or similar events. You write a brief description focused on the dilemma faced with clear reference to the specific skill that you're trying to teach. In this case, the focus is on managing team members who are demonstrating low EQ. Scenario questions are designed to paint pictures that are similar to real-life experiences and give trainees an opportunity to think about how they might react in the kind of event that is described. In this case, there are 3 possible choices, and each choice is shown as a text summary describing what happens when you take a specific action. You can also use these options to offer expert advice, reminding the learner about key concepts or ideas that could help them make the best choice. Once the learner has finalized their choice, they will get a feedback message to reinforce correct choices, or to provide corrective information when they answer incorrectly. Thanks to multi-state objects in Adobe Captivate, Sue's team can use a scenario template like this to create a scenario training activity in just a few minutes. Think of a multi-state object as one item on the screen, like a text message or an image that can change its appearance or text to describe different choices. In this case, we can show the 3 different feedback messages easily by placing each one in a different state. This is also how we can make the button appearance differ when they are under the mouse versus when a button is selected. To see the states of an object, you simply select the object and then click the States button. The states of that object will appear on the left-hand side of the screen. You can add more states and easily switch between those states when the learner interacts with the objects on the screen. This scenario has been pre-programmed, so the work for Sue's team is even simpler. Just change the text to fit their needs. The team can edit every element in the project, so they can change colors, move items, swap images, and even add their own custom branding. You may have also noticed when we previewed the scenario that the buttons animate into position at the beginning. Animation can add a little extra emphasis to your designs. It's important to use tools like animation wisely. In this case, animating the buttons draws attention to them and communicates that they are likely interactive to the learner. Animating elements in Adobe Captivate is very easy. Simply select the item you want to animate, and then go to the Timing tab. There are animations for emphasis, for entry and exit, and motion path animations. You can preview any animation by rolling your mouse over the animation while the object on stage is selected. Once you have assigned an animation or animations, you can preview the animations on the stage by clicking the play button. It isn't hard to see that Adobe Captivate 2019 meets all of Sue's requirements. She can create every type of e-learning, from compliance to scenarios, screen capture to job aids. Sue's team can work faster than ever with professional tools that are ready to handle every job, from course maintenance to super fast scenario, drag and drop, and interaction delivery. Captivate meets and exceeds her assessment and tracking needs with powerful tools to integrate with any learning management system, and comprehensive reporting to ensure that her business goals are met. And perhaps more importantly, Sue trusts Adobe to provide her access to the tools of the future. She is confident that her team will get some wows from the trainees this year with VR scenarios, interactive videos, and an authoring tool that makes creating rapid e-learning exciting and fun.